Um, on March 27th of this year, he got a cough, and that was a Saturday. Saturday morning, he woke up, and he started having this cough. I'm like, oh, my poor baby's sick. And I'm like, oh, he has COVID. Oh, no, because, COVID. So I just, brought him in the bathroom with me when I took a shower, and I, let him sit in the steam, and I didn't think that helped at all. I think that actually made it worse. I don't know. He just kept coughing and coughing and coughing. I'm like, well, he's still eating fine. He's still going to the bathroom fine. I don't know. But at the end of the week, on April 2nd, that was a Friday, I think. He didn't eat that morning. I'm like, okay, that's weird because he always eats. He's always asking for more food. So I took him to the doctor, and they did an x-ray, and it came back and it showed that he has an enlarged heart. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, what does that mean? And just over the years, it just grew big. And my other dog, Phoebe, my dachshund, she also has an enlarged heart, but she's fine. That's another story. That's another video. But, so he had an enlarged heart, and they wanted to do an echocardiogram after the initial x-ray. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And the echocardiogram showed that, okay, so in your heart, you have two vessels, and his left vessel popped. Okay, I don't know the terminology, so I'm just gonna say popped. So that's what made him start coughing and not wanting to eat because he was in pain. So the doctor told me that we could put him on some medication, and in a month redo the echocardiogram, see, and that was mainly for his pain. But she told me since his vessel popped, if he was a human, he would need to be put on the heart transplant list. But since he's a dog, there's no transplant list. So over the weekend, we had to decide what we wanted to do. Put him on this medication and have him on it for the rest of his life, and not really knowing how much pain he's in, or say goodbye to him. And mind you, he was only 8. He had a lot more years to live. But knowing how he is, knowing he loves to run around, he wouldn't have wanted to be on that medication. He wouldn't have liked it. And there was a very small chance of him not being in pain. So we made the decision to let him go. That was the hardest decision. He was my Dookie Bear. But we knew knew that it was going to be the right decision for him. So with Sebastian, we already made the decision to say goodbye to him, and we were going to do it that coming week. So with making the decision as well for Duke, we decided to bring them in on the same day. And taking just one dog in to say goodbye is hard enough. But bringing 2 of your dogs in, that is something else. That's on a whole other level. So, on April 6th, we brought both Sebastian and Duke to the vet. And they put Sebastian on, the little medical table that they had. I said goodbye to him. I was holding him. And I was telling him I loved him and that I would see him again one day. But he's gonna go see his sister Shiva and his brother Nex. So Sebastian was gone. And they brought a blanket in for Duke to lay on the floor. And, they put in the little IV and stuff. And I was holding his head. They shot something, in him, and it makes them high or something. And he turned his head and looked straight in my eyes. And he's like, "What's going on, Mom?" And I just held him and I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I just kept saying that over and over again. And then they injected him with the other stuff to make him fall asleep. And his head just got heavy. He fell asleep in my arms. That was the hardest thing ever. It wasn't his time to go. So his passing was more hard on me than the others because it wasn't his time to go. I can't talk about him without crying still. I mean, it's only been a month and a half, but I have both his and Sebastian's ashes on the mantle. It's hard to lose an animal that you love so much. But it's so worth having one. They bring so much joy and love into your life. And you bring so much joy and love into theirs. And they deserve love just like a human being does. There's so many stray animals and animals in shelters that are in need of help. So if you are capable and willing and can afford to have an animal and won't abandon it when it gets old, go to a shelter and adopt an animal. I will be adopting another one again someday. But I still have 3 dogs in my home that are old as well and need my love and attention. So did you guys notice my hoodie? I promise, honey, this is my last dog, and on the back is little finger. Like, no, this is not my last dog. Not even close. So please go help an animal. Love the animals you have now. Thank you for listening to my sad life this year. January to April, I've lost 4 animals. And who knows, I might lose another 1 or 2 this year. Okay. I don't have an outro. I don't have an intro. I don't know how to edit. So, goodbye.